I think my breakthrough year personally was probably 2021 to 2022.
Okay.
That was the year I really, came forward,
Yeah.
kind of got out of my shell and did a lot of things out of my comfort zone.
Hello and welcome to the MFN podcast. Just a couple of weeks to go in that phase, when you've got the big fight night MFN 12 coming. Everywhere that you guys are listening into us all across the world. And that's the best part about the audio platform. It just goes all across the world. Thanks so much for giving in all the love. We've got one of the founders once again, the only lady boss promoter all over the world. Krishna, thanks again for joining us.
I could hear that all day.
Yeah. It's so exciting that we're now an audio-visual platform. A lot of people actually don't have access to Disney Plus Hotstar outside of India because that's our bit, right? So when you go abroad, this is available everywhere. In fact, what we're going to do is after fight night also, we're going to have some episodes where we'll talk about the fights that happened in detail. Whether they were thinking about the fights, did they go along that way? If they didn't, it's still about a promotion, but it's still also analyzing those kind of fights. Have you ever done that when you watch the fights online? And you had some thoughts about it earlier, and you sort of analyzed it after that. And does that sort of go into the memory chip?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, also, anytime you watch a fight live, things don't register the way that they would if you're watching it, if you rewatch it, on film.
Of course.
It's very different. So you tend to pick up on a lot more than you were while you were watching it live.
Right.
Yeah.
Last 3 months before, an MFN comes up, explain to all of us, that are listening in, those last 2-3 weeks, it's like a producer who's releasing a film.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you suddenly WhatsApping everyone, telling everyone also about it? How does it work? You're using your social media, yes. But a lot of your friends are possibly not watching that because they think that it's, okay, this is a promotional stuff. Do you like reach out to a lot of people to say that, listen, this is what's happening and, does that kind of discussion happen with your friends?
Yeah, absolutely. My friends are very well aware of what I do. They were all at the, the launch event in Mumbai in 2019. I mean, I've had this set of friends for almost 2 decades now.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I've lucked out.
You're still friends after 2
decades?
decades?
Absolutely, and we meet every week.
Wow.
So I lucked out that way, and they're all very well aware of my life and what's going on in it.
What do they say now about this?
They're so proud. They're very proud, and everyone's busy in their own lives. I mean, everyone's getting married for some reason right now. So they haven't really been able to make it recently because life changes, but they're definitely proud of me. They always tell me, even if we don't talk every day, even if we're not able to make it, they know exactly what's going on because of social media.
When they watch the fights and all, as we keep talking about, every week perceptions change, every month perceptions are changing. MFN 12 is bigger because we come out online, we come out outside. What's the big thought process that they're saying that, are they seeing this 2023 as a breakthrough year for you as well and for your promotion?
I think I think my breakthrough year personally was probably 2021 to 2022.
Okay.
That was the year I really, came forward, kind of got out of my shell and did a lot of things out of my comfort zone. And I think now 2023 going forward, MFN's going to reach new heights for sure. For sure.
And we're already noticing that, and that's the best part. When other promotions start reaching out to you, when they're collaborations, I think that really changes. But like I said, there's a series that we're starting where we're going to be discussing the fighters and the matchups, because she's actually been at the table that has decided all these matchups. Krishna, as you all know, is somebody who watches a lot of action all over the world. She's always out there. Like, she's literally like, would I be wrong in saying that you're one of the talent scouts?
100%.
Yeah?
I mean, let's not get it twisted. No fight goes through if I don't accept it.
All right, so this one is closer to home, and this one's got a bit of history as well. Pawan Maan and Sandeep Dahiya, Rocky the Bull. He goes by that. Yeah, so both have a history. They fought twice in MFN 3, 4, and 5. This is the crazy part. They were friends when they were children, and they've grown up, and then they had a bit of a fallout after MFN 3. They started in the 93 kg, and this is where I want to talk a lot to you about, because this weight cut can sort of change the personality of a fighter. They started in the 93 in the beginning of their career. They moved to the welterweight in 77. Now they're back to the weight that is 93 kgs.
I'm so excited
First fight draw that's ever. I mean, they've had a draw also in MMA, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But here,
Which also,
yeah.
you know, the reason there was so much tension was because a point was actually deducted because of a foul in the middle of the fight.
Right.
If that had not have happened, Pawan would have won that fight. But you know what? I'm so excited for these guys to be back at 92.
Yeah.
I think the weight cut, especially Rocky, Sandeep, especially for him, it was not, you know, his natural cut. He was struggling a lot, and I think that definitely affected his performance. Because
does the power really reduce when
if you don't do it right? Absolutely, absolutely. Without the right guidance, it can completely fuck up your fight, you know?
Okay.
But I'm excited to see him back at 92 because in the promotion before MFN he was fighting at, he was knocking everyone out in the first round at that weight.
Wow.
So the guy packs a mean punch, and you know, Pawan obviously brings a lot of experience with him. Yeah. He's a tough dude himself. He's just got, you know, international exposure and some experience at the road to UFC. Against some high-level opponents. Yeah. So it'll be a really fun matchup to see these guys go at it. And of course, the OGs in the sport.
Big time. And I've seen Rocky the Bull work out here sometimes. He's a big boy. And you know, that's the whole point. Maybe he'll just be like a bull and just knock Pawan off. I doubt if that'll happen. But do you see this like being a knockout fight? Or like, because the bigger the boy is, the slower the move. But and you know, it just takes one big punch.
The slower, but exactly, the more power they pack, right? So it can literally take, it's like one and done with these guys. It can take one shot and the other guy's out, lights out, yeah. So, I mean, you know, we've always wanted some bigger guys on our cards, and we're excited about this matchup. It's going to be cool.
Light heavyweight. This is, by the way, light heavyweight.
Yeah.
What would be heavyweight? 110?
Yeah, it's like 120 plus or something.
Are those rare in the world of MMA? That weight level?
I think at our side of the world, for sure, you know, because I mean, in general, we're a smaller race.
Absolutely.
Genetically.
Yeah.
But internationally, I mean, there are some big guys out there. Yeah.
Imagine 100 kgs
but
coming
it's really hard to find, you know, big guys at that weight who are also very athletic and fit.
True.
It's usually just, you know, some overweight guys kind of going at it.
So, by the way, I'm 90.
Damn.
Yeah, so I don't think that this is big. When you say 100, that's big.
That's massive.
That looks big.
Yeah.
I want to see that. You know, that's what is happening in the WWE also. When they got these big guys,
yeah.
if they could do a split, there would be an awe with, oh, he can do a split.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not what we want here.
Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses.
Pooja and Hwang Mei. Pooja Tomar is a legend. In MMA also, she's proved her worth. She's gone out there. But Hwang is from China.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting matchup. And you know, for those who know Pooja, she's 7 times national wushu champion. But something about Hwang, you know, coming in there, the crowd support with Pooja.
First of all, how cool is this, right? We got the 2 most massive populations in the world. So that's great for MFN, a bunch of visibility. Yeah. Hwang from China, she comes with a lot of experience. Okay. She's fought in promotions like One Championship as well. Right. So, you know, definitely fought some high-level girls. Yeah. I believe she's going to be Pooja's biggest test till date. You know, Pooja's always been able to kind of bully the girls that get in there with her. Yeah. She's a tough chick, right? Yeah. And definitely is very well deserving of the championship belt. But I believe experience could play a factor in this fight. And I think Pooja, you know, might have to be a little more patient in this one as opposed to previous ones.
You know, I've always seen in boxing it happens, you know, height and reach makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure.
If you look at Hwang and Pooja, is there a huge reach and height difference?
There is definitely a height difference. I wouldn't say huge or massive. Okay. We've seen more in MMA. Yeah. But there are ways around it. You know, Pooja's got a great coach. She's got a amazing training camp with Soma. Yeah. They know what they're doing. Yeah. You know, we've seen their success rate at MFN with our fighters. Yeah. So, you know, I'm sure Coach Mike's going to put a great plan in place to kind of get over those obstacles.
She's got her Instagram game is also like quite there, man. Every day there's a video out there, which is great. I think that also is a very important.
You collaborated with her.
Yeah, we did one. We were training together, and she said, "Let's do this." And she came to train with me my style of heavy training, which was different to theirs. Every athlete has a different way of training. And I realized one thing that there's so much to learn that they want to learn also still. Yeah. And you know, you just feel so humble that athletes that are so big want to do something new, and they're just totally open about it. There's no like airs about it. Have you 100%. Faced that a lot with your fighters?
Yeah. In fact, Ritu Fogat, she actually came here for a workout and we trained legs together.
Wow.
Which was awesome. You know, I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing something right because I was teaching her a couple of things. But again, this is my strength, you know, and their style of training, it definitely differentiates.
But you've got to also see the humility is one of the biggest things about sport. I was reading the other day, there will never be a failure in sport, right? You win some, you lose some. It's not about that. You also learn lots of things in the losses. Pooja actually had a really tough fight a few years ago, I mean a year or two back at the MFN. She won that, but she wasn't very happy with that, with Jojo. You know, she wasn't in the best shape. She's come back from injury. And when she came back and won, I remember I was in the cage with her and she said, आपने बोला था ना पिछली बार मजा नहीं आया था. And I remember that discussion that happened there. So they heard from inside also, even if they win and if they're not their best.
Of course.
I think that's important.
Because they have such a competitive spirit, you know, that's inherent. So they want to put their best foot forward, and if that doesn't come out on the night, they're going to be disappointed. So it's not just about the win, because the amount of sweat, blood, tears, all of that goes into their training camps leading up to the fight, only they know, you know, so they know what they're capable of. And it was definitely a lot more than what she had put out that night.
And then she came back the next MFN and was really floored everyone.
Yeah.
So we're good to see you back in action. This one's actually a very interesting fight because Chaitanya and Chungring. Chaitanya unfulfilled sadly because the fight was a no contest the last time he was in the ring with Dhruv. Fighting in the bantamweight 61 kg fight. This is about the weight, you know, and Chungring, unfortunately, or fortunately rather, the Indian Rhino is more comfortable in this weight. Chaitanya has had trouble with his weight cuts. You know, even a kg also here and there, even in the last one, you know, it was just about that. We were discussing about weight in this bit also. Do you think from a 63 kg fighting in a 61 kg, it sounds like only 2 kgs?
Honestly, I think, I don't think Chaitanya struggled with his weight cut actually. He was, I think, only 200 grams over. There were some very unfortunate and unfair rules in place at the time.
Right.
And
now you made it half a kg, right?
We have a 500 gram allowance.
Yes, that's there, yeah.
So unfortunately, we didn't have that at the time.
Right.
So he wasn't able to make weight, but it was just 200 grams over, you know, so I wouldn't really count that. This matchup, you know, a lot of people who I've been talking to think Chungran is gonna just go through him. I have a little bit of a different perspective. I believe, you know, Chaitanya, he's a veteran in the sport. He represents himself really well, like a true martial artist. You know, I respect him a lot, and I definitely look up to him. I believe that, you know, even though he's facing a hungry lion, a hungry young lion in Chungran, experience does also come into play, you know? So you find ways to kind of make the fight tougher or kind of, or sometimes even maybe win, you know? So I don't think it's as obvious as a win for Chungran as people are making it out to seem. Although,
but I think they're also taking the age factor. Maybe that's what they start to think.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the UFC, Glover, he won his UFC belt at age 42. So age is just a factor. Yoel Romero made his debut in his 40s. You know, he's one of the biggest beasts that they had now in Bellator. But yeah, so I mean, age is just a factor. But you know, then again, I respect Chungran greatly, and the performance that he put out coming in on short notice at MFN 11 was immense. He's one of the standouts for me from MFN 11 for sure. So, you know, it's not going to be as easy as people are making it out to seem, but it's definitely going to be interesting.
And Chaitanya's hungry because he wasn't able to get a full fight the last time around. It was a really painful blow.
And he's putting in a lot into his training camps. You know, he's going international, working with different camps around the world. So, I mean, much respect to him for sure.
I can't wait to see these matchups. We'll be discussing the matchups as we go along every single week leading up to the MFN as well. Remember, guys, you can stay in touch with us with, of course, the social media handles that are all there. MFN Matrix is there, Aisha, Krishna, mine, Salil, Acharya, it's all there. And of course, remember, at the end of it, I'm going to have this little question poll that is always when we put out in each single podcast. Things you'd want to hear, any questions that you have from Krishna and Aisha, whatever you want to ask, go right ahead. This is unfiltered. We give it as it is. And you know, like she said, people say that he's going to bulldoze him, but no, it's not always that way. And if it was always that way, it would always be easy, right? Nothing happens the way it is, especially not in sport. It's, you know, as they say.
Especially not in MMA.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything can happen in any second. You could be winning a fight for 3 rounds. And then get caught the last second. And that's happened, so. And
right here, it's happened. You can catch these episodes on Disney Plus Hotstar as far as the video is concerned. The audio available everywhere on all audible platforms. So it's Spotify, it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere. Thanks so much, Krishna.
Thank you.
We'll see you all soon. Take care and bye-bye.